Amendments Bill 2024. This Council resumes the second reading debate on the Building Management Amendment Bill 2023. Mr. Tong Yixie, Chairman of the Bills Committee on the bill, will first address the Council on the committee's report. Mr. Tong Yixie. Thank you, President. In my capacity as the Chairman of the Bills Committee on Building Management Amendment Bill 2023, I hereby report to the Council the deliberations of the Bills Committee. The bill seeks primarily to amend the Building Management Ordinance Cap 344, or in short BMO, to impose certain new requirements on high-value procurement, including procurements for large-scale maintenance for buildings and other procurements related to building management. The bill also imposes or adjusts certain requirements in relation to the financial statements and other accounting documents of owners' corporations, and also on meeting procedures concerning building management. Failure to keep certain documents concerning building management will be a criminal offense. The Bills Committee has held 10 meetings with the administration and received representations from members of the public and deputations at one of the meetings. The administration pointed out that with a growing number of aged buildings in need of repair and renovation, there have been disputes over large-scale maintenance projects of buildings from time to time. The bill proposes to provide in BMO 3 categories of procurement and put in place new tendering and declaration requirements for these categories. The 3 categories of procurement are Type 1 high-value procurement and Type 2 high-value procurement as defined under the original provisions of BMO, as well as large-scale maintenance procurement newly introduced by the bill. In respect of large-scale maintenance procurement, it is subject to the additional specified declaration requirements and also requirements for the procedures at general meetings of owners' corporations, OCs. Members support the proposal. On the proposed requirements on declaration of interest and tendering, this is to enhance the transparency of the tendering exercise. On the proposed requirements on declaration of interest and tendering, members consider various related issues, such as the definition of responsible person, restrictions on the attendance of the relevant participants of management committees, MCs, at MC meetings, restrictions on the participation of responsible persons in procurement activities, the requirement for issuing a tender invitation to a specified number of suppliers, and so on. Members made various suggestions on these issues. The administration took on board many of the suggestions and proposed relevant amendments. The bill proposes that the financial statements of buildings with total annual income and expenditure exceeding $500 must be audited regardless of the number of flats. Copies of the financial statements and accountants' reports must be displayed in a prominent place in the building once available for at least 7 consecutive days. Copies must be supplied to owners and tenants' representatives within 28 days after the date on which a written request for such copies is made. All members support this proposal. In the course of deliberation, members expressed concerns about the proposal in the bill to create criminal offences in relation to the failure to keep certain documents concerning building management. Upon conviction, each MC participant is liable to a fine at level 4. Some members expressed support for the proposal to achieve a greater deterrent effect. Other members, however, expressed worries that the criminal liability would affect the motivation of owners to take up building management duties. Having considered members' views, the administration agreed to narrow the scope of regulation and propose an amendment to impose the existing criminal liability in MBO in BMO and the proposed liability in the bill on the accountable MC participants only instead of each MC participant. Moreover, the administration pointed out that the bill will provide a statutory defense for the offences. The threshold of statutory defense will be lowered so that the defendant only has to adduce sufficient evidence to raise an issue, and the prosecution has to disprove the defendant's defense beyond reasonable doubt. The administration took on board another of members' suggestions to amend the existing Section 29A of BMO and extend the protection of not being personally liable for acts done in good faith and in a reasonable manner to secretaries and treasurers of MCs who are not MC members. Members support the amendment. I must mention specifically the concerns of the Bills Committee that the bill has yet to cover all issues of concern to stakeholders, including instruments for the appointment of a proxy and the powers of the authority under BMO. The administration advised that it will adopt the approach of dealing with simpler issues first before tackling the more difficult ones. It will follow up on the more complicated and controversial issues after the passage of the bill. The administration will keep an open mind as it seeks views from a broad spectrum of stakeholders. President, that concludes my report on the work of the Bills Committee. I now turn to my personal views on the bill. President, I'm in the real estate business for years. I have, strong feeling. I have much experience with the building management ordinance. Initially, the ordinance was to provide a legal framework so owners could set up owners' corporations. The powers, the duties, and the meeting procedures of OCs are provided for in the bill. This provides reference to owners as they operate OCs. Then they're able to better manage their own buildings or estate. Then after the ordinance has been in place for some years, room was identified for improvement. And so that's why the administration consulted the sector and the general public on a number of occasions to amend the ordinance. But then some of the issues are rather complicated and controversial. So it would take a relatively long time to deal with those issues. As the administration pointed out, they're adopting the approach of first dealing with the simpler issues. So for the less controversial issues, the administration has proposed amendments. If the bill is passed, I hope the administration will then move on to deal with the more complicated and controversial issues and come up with proposals as soon as possible and amend the ordinance. This amendment bill is about setting various restrictions on large-scale maintenance works and large-value procurement. This will promote more participation by owners, and also is to prevent bid rigging, or lower the risk of bid rigging. And then the owners could use the smart tender building rehabilitation facilitation service, and as they invite tenders on the works. Now, on how that's in short the smart tenders service. Now, there are various issues for owners who try to make improvement to their buildings. Now, this is about the threshold of voting and the composition of management committees and so on. The Home Affairs Department needs to step up its effort in helping buildings. In the past years, the HAD has not been doing a good job in helping 3 new buildings to set up owners' corporations. well, owners should be encouraged to take a more active part in the day-to-day management of the buildings as well as the repair and maintenance works of the buildings. But there's still much room for improvement in this respect. Now, with the mandatory building inspection scheme, owners have been asked to carry out repair and maintenance. But then we've seen many press reports that the cost of repair is too high, probably because there is a bit rigging and so on. And so there's government step up enforcement and penalize those who break the law. But at the same time, owners need to get more involved. They have to, and then property management companies and contractors should be required to provide a good service. And of course, the service quality of property management companies varies. Now, we have the Property Management Services Authority. Now, PMCs have to be licensed, and so there should be continuous improvement to the quality of PMCs. But then, if buildings don't have OCs, it's difficult for them to replace the PMC that performs poorly. That's why there's been continuous call for amendment to the ordinance. There should be reasonable cap on property management fees. Then DMC's deed of mutual covenants should be altered, especially in early days. Some of the terms of the DMC are not fair. Now, I have repeatedly suggested that buildings need to set up a repair fund. Each month, a small portion of the management fee should be set aside for the repair reserve, so that could be used for regular repairs and maintenance works of the buildings. Otherwise, when there is need for large-scale maintenance or repair works, then individual owners will have to contribute a large sum towards the project. And then that will lead to disputes in terms of the amount of the works and the tendering process. So that's why it's difficult to actually successfully implement repair work, large-scale maintenance works. And then it will also be difficult to carry out preventive works. So the condition of buildings deteriorate, and then repair costs keep going up. These are the issues with the problems we've seen. I hope the government will pay more attention to them. When the administration considers the next round of legislative amendment, it should tackle all these issues. For 3 new buildings, the government needs to go one step further. The government should actively help 3 new building owners, because most of them are the elderly. And then the government should help 3 new buildings to set up OCs, so they could appoint property management companies. So then owners could share in the management costs, and then there could be better arrangements for repair and maintenance of buildings. This will boost the quality of living for the general public. I speak in support of the second reading of the bill. Thank you. Colleagues, I will suspend the meeting at around 6:30.
Mr. Dennis Lang. Thank you, President. I speak in support of the Building Management Amendment Bill 2023. Each and every member of the public wants to have a home to live in. Whether they're living in private or public housing, they want their buildings to be managed well. All owners have the responsibility to participate in building management and organize owners' corporation, as well as engage PMCs to manage their buildings. Property, like people, need maintenance and repair. But whenever we talk about maintenance and repair, owners have to contribute monetarily. Without PMCs, owners corporation and management companies may not be too familiar with the procurement procedures and the cost of maintenance and repair. In this situation, owners, corporations, and the management companies would be ripped up. In the past, we have high or very expensive large-scale maintenance projects in the community. Sometimes the contractors outsource their work, and as a result, the maintenance projects cost a lot. And we have seen problems of price fixing and big rigging in the past, and small owners are the ones to lose in these situations. Since reunification some 20 years ago, owners corporation and management companies or committees are like working in a war zone. A lot of passionate owners join the owners corporation saying that they want to combat big rigging. After they've become members of the owners corporation, small owners thought that they would have someone to represent them and do justice, but the reality paints a very different picture. Small owners have to make contributions, but their buildings have not been repaired and maintained well. And I'm worried that in the future, no one wants to participate in building management. A lot of owners don't want to be involved in court cases, and there's been cases of bullying that deter passionate owners from participating in building management. I hope that the administration will amend the BMO further so that more owners would be more willing to participate in building management and protect their own interest as well as value of their property. The BMO was established in 1991, and the Chinese version came into force in 1994. In 1998 and 2000 and 2007, we have had amendments to BMO. This is the fourth time when we amend the ordinance. I support the content of the amendment for us to solve the problems that are easier to fix first. The bill will enhance management of buildings without owners corporation, management companies, or even the property management companies. For building with just DMC managers, they will be maintained and protected under the ordinance. We have to manage buildings for people to live in peace. I became a manager of my property developments, and a lot of owners actually participated in the OCs, and we have improved the culture of building management. And during the Black Cloud violence, I, together with other owners, solved problems in the management of our estates. I think that the administration should be more proactive to solve the problems that we have. I see that this term of the government is determined to enhance building management in Hong Kong. I hope that the secretary would act in accordance with their slogan that Home Affairs Department will actually help the people. Now, the bill will further clarify the definition of large-scale maintenance procurement so that it's easier for OC and MC to comply with the requirements so that there will not be any problems with procurement, and owners would know more about the content of the procurements and that there will not be any disputes or queries. Second, there is also regulations on voting in person, and there's a threshold. In the past, representatives acting on proxy makes up a large percentage of the attendance, and there were not a lot of owners who voted in person. And a lot of people only knew that they have to pay a large sum to maintain and repair their buildings after the voting has happened. So we have set a threshold at 5% or 100 owners as the voting in person requirement so that the voting will become more representative. Third, on the requirements on financial statements to be audited. Now, the restrictions have been set at as long as the total annual income and expenditure of the building exceed $500,000, then their financial statements have to be audited. Now, for buildings without owners corporation, they may not be regulated by the ordinance, so not all estates may be regulated. So in Schedule 7 of the ordinance, all buildings with DMCs will be covered. So I support it. I hope that the building management will become more professionalized in future and owners will participate in building management even more. First, I hope that the government will enhance training on building management so that more owners would know more about CAP 344, that is the BMO. Second, staff of Home Affairs Department have taken part in reaching out to a lot of owners corporations. But actually, for staff of HAD that attended the management meetings, they often stayed silent and they asked the owners to consult the lawyers. So a lot of actually owners corporations wonder if they should invite representatives of HAD to attend their general meetings. So I hope that the administration will train up the HAD staff so that they will actually be able to answer queries put by owners. Third, I think that the government should formulate guidelines so that owners would know more about the ordinance to better manage their buildings. Fourth, I hope that the HAD would organize more exchange sessions so that owners of different developments can exchange their views on building management and share their experience. I hope that the administration will actually implement the content of the bill, and I hope that the HAD would adjust and enhance support to owners and owners corporation. Now we have Patriots administering Hong Kong. We have a good soil to work on. I hope that the administration will further enhance the BMO to solve the disputes that we have so that buildings will be maintained and repaired and that our people can live in ease or in peace. The council is adjourned until 9 a.m. tomorrow.